Hello and welcome to my report on the macronutrients report on the three macronutrients. So the three macronutrients are carbohydrates, fat, and protein. So carbohydrates there are two types of carbohydrates, simple and bad. Simple carbs are easily digested and are a quick energy source. They provide quick energy sources. An example of energy sources which simple carbohydrates are used for are for sprinters such as Usain Bolt for the 100 meters. Complex carbs are broken down slowly and release energy over longer periods of time. This is normally used for the long distance runners such as Mo Farah. 80% 80% are stored in the muscles, most are in the liver, a very small amount in the blood as well. Carbs are stored in the glycogen in the muscles. In the muscles, it can only store a limited amount of glucose, 375 to 475 grams. That is approximately 1,500 to 2,000 calories in an average adult. The regular exercise maintains the amount of carbs in the glycogen. Therefore, the excessive glycogen carbs which are needed will be converted to fat and stored in the fat tissues. The diet should be made out of 45% to 65% of carbs, and examples of food containing simple carbs which sprinters would use are raw sugar, brown sugar, corn syrup, glucose, fructose, and sucrose, concentrated fruit juice. Example of food containing complex carbs are whole grains such as rice, oatmeal, brown rice, barley, burgo, farro, grains such as quinoa and buckwheat, starchy such as vegetables, potatoes, sweet potatoes, and corn, non-starchy vegetables such as everything from asparagus to zucchini, beans and legumes like lentils, kidney beans, and chickpeas. The difference between the two carbs is simple carbs are obviously broken down very quickly, whereas complex carbs are broken down longer as they are bigger than simple carbs. Um, the carbs, right? The carbs are very good, and they are used for the um, obviously 45 to 65% on the diet. The next macronutrient is saturated and unsaturated fat. The key functions. What are the key functions of fat? One of the main functions of fat is to provide a concentrated energy source and is an insulator which keeps the body warm. Another purpose is to have extra protection on the organs such as the heart, liver, and kidneys. We need a certain amount of fat to break down the vitamins and soluble them to function. The the diet of fat should be added around 25%. What is triglyceride? Triglyc- Triglycerides are attached to three fatty acids, which form the basic components of fat. Each triglyceride is attached to three fatty acids. Fatty acids contain carbon and hydrogen struck together. If a carbon atom attached to two hydrogen atoms, the fat is saturated. However, if one of the carbon atoms is without the hydrogen, then the fat is unsaturated. Foods that contain saturated fat are cakes, biscuits, butter, sausage, cheese, bacon, cured meats, which are unhealthy for the performer. Foods containing unsaturated fat, which is healthy for the former, are olive, peanuts, avocados, nuts, pumpkin, and sesame seeds. The two forms of unsaturated fats are called monounsaturated and polyunsaturated. Saturated fat contains high LDL cholesterol level as it has a high risk of the person to get a stroke and heart risk, whereas unsaturated fat decreases the level of LDL cholesterol levels. What are the three ways that fat can be stored in your body? They can be stored as essential fat, subcutaneous fat, and visceral fat. Essential fat is necessary for a healthy and functional body. Subcutaneous fat makes up most of our bodily fat and is found underneath the skin, which is the body method of storing energy for later use. Visual fat is found around the abdominal section amongst the major organs. It can be very dangerous as it can increase the risk of a number of diseases as it surrounds a major organ such as the heart, lungs, and a high body fat percentage can increase the heart disease. What are the reasons people tend to eat more fat food? Fat food, such as saturated fat, they add flavor and texture to the food, or the food would be bland. The food would be bland without it. Therefore, people will consume a lot more because of the flavor and texture within the food. The next ma- yeah. The next one will be protein. What are the key functions of protein? Protein's main function is to build up and repair the muscles. Furthermore, it is also used as a backup source of energy when carbs and fat are low. The diet of a performer should have 15% of protein. Complete proteins contain all essential amino acids, whereas incomplete proteins will contain foods that lack of some essential amino acids. Examples of foods that are complete are fish, poultry, eggs, beef, pork, dairy. Examples of foods that are incomplete are beans, peas, lentils, nuts, seeds, whole grains, vegetables. What is an amino acid? Amino acids are the building blocks and the small units of proteins. They play any critical role in the body as we need to grow and develop and rebuild our muscles. There are 20 amino acids to that function to happen. Essential amino acids we need to for our body to have as we don't have them. We need to ingest for our bodies to have as we don't have them. Whereas non-essential amino acids are the ones we have inside our bodies, but in order for them to be good, we need to ingest foods that contain a little bit. Essential amino acids are such as isolin, they detoxification of the nitrogenous waste. Histidine makes proteins and enzymes in the body as specific hormones. Kainine stimulates activity to promote growth and repair. An example of a non-essential amino acid is align, used for breaking down tryptophan and vitamin B6. Dairy intake of protein is essential in order to carry out a functional diet. Excessive protein is used to provide intermittent energy. If excess protein is not needed for energy, then it is converted to fat or high or carbohydrates in the body. Thank you for my report.